Okay, so we're following up with some more viewer tattoos. People who've sent things to the page before did want to go over some new stuff. We're starting with a good buddy of mine, Tim.
Ooh, yeah.
Got the color on black sleeve, and he sent in a whole bunch of other crazy stuff. He sent in that raven on his back and crow or whatever the fuck it was.
Cool.
Whatever that is.
So, Tim says, "Hey Remy, me again, as usual. Laugh out loud. You and your wife are doing great job thus far. Thank you, Tim. Just want to acknowledge you both as a team before getting further into this email. Aw, just keep up the good work.
Just
Loving
warms
the new
your heart,
content.
doesn't it?
It does. It actually gives me joy. This was a cover-up of another evil thing I got when I was 19. Oh man, we all get evil things when we're 19. I am now...
Why ever stop?
Yeah, well, life happens. I am now 30. The entire thing took 2 solid passes. The old tattoo was an evil clown. As I said in a previous email, I had a Jesus phase in my mid-20s. Oh, I remember Jesus phase. And now I like all of my tattoos to look evil as possible when it makes sense, laugh out loud. But it was in a bad spot due to my profession. I am a firefighter / paramedic. Oh man, no, you guys are always tattooed. Lucky for me,
Around here they are.
Lucky for me, my department doesn't have a tattoo policy. However, I have had older patients consistently give me grief over my evil clown. It was too distracting from my work environment, so I decided to get it covered finally. We outline it with Panthera Tribal Black, and the rest of the colors in the new Milky Way tattoo are a variety of Eternal Ink colors. Would love to hear your opinion. Still can't believe what is possible with cover-ups and blackouts. Your channel has taught me a lot as an amateur upcoming tattoo artist. Yay, me too. As well as a fellow canvas who also enjoys the long, hard-fought process of getting tattooed.
It's a labor of love.
Is this the evil clown?
Oh man, I kind of love this thing.
I'm so sad.
It's kind of fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
I love his beak.
I do too. I really like this guy.
I want to know how big this was.
Yeah.
Because, like...
It looks small.
It looks small. Like, too small to begin with. It should be bigger.
Right.
But, like, they got some cool details in something so small.
He's like a clown goblin.
Tim has something in common with me, like with his back piece, where I was saying that, you know, you'll change a tattoo, but not everyone will think it was an upgrade.
Yep.
Because not all of his work is terrible. You know what I mean?
It's like your chest piece. I like the current chest piece, but I love your old chest
That's been
piece.
the case with almost everything I've done.
Yeah.
It's been like, oh, well, that wasn't that bad that you needed to.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to.
Actually, the only bad that needed to go was the one arm.
Yeah.
The fiery background.
Yeah, I don't know that could have been reworked any other way.
Yeah.
But there are people out there that would have been happy with that anyway.
Oh,
There's
man.
a lot of terrible crap
Y'all
out
don't
there.
know art.
People thought that first suit was godly.
I mean, I liked your first suit. It looked cool.
Like,
but...
like, there were
This is
never
better.
any, like, no one has ever, like, well, some people, when they get into nitty-gritty, are like, wow, I understand. But, like, a lot of people, upon passing by it, are like, wow. And it's just like, wow, that's just a whole bunch of stuff, though.
Yeah. It was
Anyway.
your stuff suit. Anyways.
I like this tattoo
I do
to begin
too.
with.
And I also have some tattoos. I work with individuals with special needs currently, and I have a couple tattoos that I have to keep covered at work because they're a little bit triggering for the guys. So I get this.
This is just a little too dark and a little too small,
Yeah.
I believe. So
Yeah.
what did he cover it with?
The galaxy?
So this was, okay, well, this picture actually helps a lot because you can actually see where it is. Because in the last photo, it was hard
Is
to
this what he used to cover it though?
Yeah, this is what he used to cover it.
I get it. Okay.
No. So this is, again, where, you know, color can do a lot. All right.
And it's in the armpit? Or
No,
is it
this
the
is
neck?
this is the neck.
Oh, okay. No,
This is
sorry.
his neck.
That's
this
me.
Is the side of his neck.
I'm looking at it from an angle. I'm sorry, sir.
No, that's okay. It's from his neck. I think some of the composition is a little bit wonky in places, but it doesn't really matter. It comes across very painterly. Again, though, this is what I was saying about it's not necessarily better
Yes.
so much as it is different. I like this better than the other one.
I like both.
But it's not because I didn't like the other one, and it's not because the other one wasn't good. I also like the fact that I know what was underneath of it. and that it's gone.
Do you have a Ford logo tattooed to you?
I don't know. Probably. He's got a whole bunch of stuff.
Strange. Okay,
He's got
anyway,
all
sorry.
kinds of crap.
I was
This goes
distracted
really
by
well
it.
with the space blackout sleeve.
Yeah.
So what I would say is you should probably attach. I don't know if that's on the same arm though.
Right?
But like if it is, you should build it into it. Get some more blue tones in that arm and.
You know, the crazy thing is there's, I mean, evil tattoos, and I'm thinking evil tattoos. There's something evil about space. I mean, this is some pretty happy space.
Yeah, this is a happy space.
But space is pretty evil and
Yeah, it's
dark,
pretty dark
and
and spooky.
scary, right?
I'm afraid of space.
Me
but
too.
I'm more afraid of our ocean, to be honest with you. But
I'm afraid of, yeah, definitely
there's some
both.
crazy shit in our oceans. That being said, yeah, impressive use of color. You would never know there was anything underneath of this. They went dark enough and light enough to completely hide any obstruction.
Right? No, I love it. I like the color palette.
I
a
like
lot,
both
too.
pieces, so 2 wins from me.
Yeah, 2 wins. All right. So let's look at the next email from Rebecca. Hey man, thanks heaps for the comments in your video.
This is the Apprentice that we remarked on how good her stuff was.
Oh yeah, I really liked your stuff. Okay, I tend to be in my head a lot about where I'm at. Thought I'd send through some follow-up, moth included. Yay. It's not my favorite, but every tattoo I've done is a progress in its own way. Also including a couple of drawings so you can see where my base is. I've never done art classes per se, minus high school subject, and definitely no fine arts. The additional tattoos I've included were my first color, and the additions were made with the B+G realism. First go at realism also, and extra flowers to match. I'm now just over a full year apprenticing. Good for you. Again, thanks heaps for your feedback and for the laughs with a derp girl. B. Cool. Oh man.
Yeah, so B
Your
and
art
G
style.
realism is black and gray realism,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course, for anyone who doesn't know that. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty wild.
I love this.
That would be really hard to pull off in a tattoo. Like, really hard.
Yeah,
Almost, you need to really change some tones here to get that to come through.
Yeah,
But it's a cool drawing.
those silvery blues are, I think, going to be a challenge to
Yeah.
do on most
Yeah,
people's
most
flesh.
of this would be really, really washed out.
But I love this drawing. This is it's some really cool body horror.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It's more color realistic drawing. If you, again, very hard to execute as a tattoo. A lot of people don't like color realism, but it doesn't matter if you don't like it or not. I'm here to tell you it's incredibly difficult.
It is
and
hard.
most people won't fuck with it.
It's hard to even do with like pencil crayons and stuff.
And
Good
it
for
takes
you.
an incredibly long time to do.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like the difference between getting a black and gray portrait versus color realism portrait is thousands of dollars, many hours, and a shitload of technical prowess.
Yeah, and
So-
this is a really wonderful piece.
Yeah, it's nice and soft, but
For me, I just want to say I really like that like you have these like flyaways on the back of the head. And I don't know if you used a source for this photo. It bums me out that there's no flyaways or anything on the top.
yeah, it comes
of the
across a
hair there.
little flat in the
Yeah,
front.
yeah. And that's the only thing that right away jumped out at me. I was like, man, I really want there to be some of those fabulous flyaways on the front.
Still sort of stylized though, so I'm not gonna dock that too hard.
I love it. I couldn't draw this.
Let's
so.
see some tattoos though.
Yeah.
So this is
Little moth guys.
moth is cool. It
Little
has a
bug
very
guy.
fall Halloween vibe. It almost looks like pumpkin-y, you know what I mean?
My heart.
But
Yeah.
legs getting pretty cluttered.
Well, I mean, apprentice leg. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I'm hoping mine looks, somewhere decent like this one day. Your coloring looks pretty solid.
Well, her apprentice leg looks like a lot better than some of the people's legs that they send in.
Right.
So, still,
B and
is
G
this something
realism.
that she did on herself or a client? I didn't remember if she said. I think this is just her first realism piece that she's done on someone. So it's a little rough. Like it's a little. You can see still learning mag shading. Trying to get that down.
I imagine it's hard to learn how to get it smooth. I
Oh,
imagine.
that seems to be the biggest trouble for most apprentice artists. But
And even the younger, newer artists too,
yeah,
right?
some people never get down that solid shading and transitions between light and dark. I've seen a lot of it around here where it's like get to a certain level and then that's it. Yeah. Overall, she's doing great and steady progress. I like the slow approach to realism. Some people will just jump into shit and fuck someone up. Like all of a sudden they're doing someone's dog portrait or something.
Right.
It's like, you have no business doing this memorial tattoo.
That's what I always worry
care
about.
if the customer said you were good enough to do it for them. You have accountability to yourself too, and to the industry in a way to either do it well or don't do that memorial tattoo. I see a lot of bad memorial tattoos. That's a big no-no for me.
And to be able to admit, hey, I don't think I'm a competent enough artist to shade your baby's face proper.
Yeah. Also, you see some nightmares out there.
Your source material doesn't have enough definition for me to.
Oh, we do that all the time. We tell people we need better photos all the time.
Good.
It's a hard pill to swallow, but it is what it is.
Right.
So this was that Japanese Jason tattoo.
I remember.
Or Mike Myers, not Jason. I always get the two of them confused for some reason. Anyway, we got some more context for this. We get to see the rest of the leg. So I just put this in here as a refresher because I had asked to see kind of what else was going on.
Yeah.
You get to see there are some more cherry blossoms than originally seemed like. But the farther I get away from this thing, the more I'm realizing it needs to be full color. Right?
Yeah.
The sumi waves, all that shit needs to be colored in because it's just so distracting.
Right? And like, I don't know.
This looked better the first time around for me.
I agree. And
I don't know why that is.
I don't want to be fussy, but I feel like these top sumi waves,
it's a lot of background.
Well, they look really lazy to me. Like the artist just got like tired at that point and was just like, meh.
It just looks like a whole bunch of stuff without any flow.
I just think like some of the like smaller waves feel like they're done tighter, and then when it gets bigger and looser up here, it's not as nice.
Well, it could have been big. It could have still been big and busy. It just doesn't have any flow. Right? The bottom is busy.
Yeah.
It's just in proportion to the size they had, right? So if they had just kept going with that flow up to the top, it wouldn't have looked so messy and just kind of blobbish. But let's continuing on with this. This is also from him sending some more of his leg.
Oh yeah, I remember this one too.
Well, this might be an unflattering angle. It's just really, really hard to make anything out.
It's really cluttered.
Like, holy crap, is that congested?
Yeah, it's this is super cluttered, and I just feel like this should have been like a back piece or a chest piece, and they condensed it into something for a leg.
You could have done this as a leg. I really feel like, though, if you add some color onto all this, you can sort some of this insanity out, but not all of it. To begin with, I think that mask it may be the angle, but the mask is just, it's fit in there too small.
Squished. It's like all squished at the bottom.
The mask should have been the whole back of the calf.
Yeah.
And then you do some waves around it.
I just think this would have made a better back piece.
Well,
like,
these
spread it
masks
out.
always do, but you can do Japanese leg sleeves.
Yeah, you go in with less detail. You drop some of the details, right?
Well, I don't know that it's even that. They just put too much stuff in here. It's not even all that detailed. It's just a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah, I would have dropped some of the stuff.
It's just too much information. A lot of the information is pretty flat, too. It's not hyper detailed, a lot of it. Some of it is, but a lot of it is just like, I don't know, let's just put some more stuff in here.
Stick a leaf here, a wave, a rope.
Yeah, it's nothing to the composition. Let's just keep adding things because we made this mask too small.
I want to make it cool and badass.
It might have been a case where he only had a couple $100 in his pocket and he really wanted the mask and then they had to figure out how to add to it later.
Yeah.
It kind of looks like it was done piecework and then tried to make it into a bigger concept at the end of the day.
Yeah, it kind of does. I agree with that.
You know, rather than what I always tell the artists here, that no matter what the customer says, if you're working on the bottom of their leg or the top of their arm or something, or reverse the order, you should be in the mindset that it's quite possible and most likely they're going to be adding to this later. So whether you tell them that you're doing it or not, you need to be working in case of adding more.
Especially because if you have done a good job, it's likely that you are going to be the one adding.
Yeah,
to
of
it.
course.
And you want to give yourself an easy time.
But it's also not just for you, but for the flow of the body, and if anyone did have to add to it, whether it's you or not, it's good to leave open a route to continue.
Yeah.
Instead of making things hard and defined and building no flow into the design. And it makes it so there's almost no option to continue, and then you just have to add things, and it becomes almost like patchwork.
Yeah, don't put a random number 13 on a bare arm.
Yeah, so
I got.
And yeah, patchwork isn't great for flow, by the way. It's very stiff.
It is stiff.
You end up with dots and stars and crap, and you end up putting little things that you don't actually care about all over the place, and you're like, well, at least I got a bunch of stuff though. Like, I had so many people that were like, you just did black. Why did you just... It's like, how much crap do you have that doesn't really matter?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
agree.
there's a whole lot. It's a
So-
whole lot of filler.
Is this next photo on our slides here, is this the back side of the leg that we were just looking at?
Yeah, this is the same leg.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same. It's all part of the same thing.
It's too empty here. I hate these swirls.
Well, it's just so much background
Right?
detail. That one top swirl is just a giant cinnamon bun.
Yeah, you didn't need it. You could have put
And-
another mask there.
Yeah, of course.
You could have put a Jason mask there.
They could have had 2-3 masks on this. Probably 3 masks for the leg sleeve.
Yeah.
Background, some cherry blossoms,
It
you
would
know.
look great.
But, like, I don't know what that cinnamon bun is for. That's another tattoo he's got there. This, again, too small. Like, why isn't that the whole front of his thigh?
Right, yeah, it's like you just want too much. Like this again, or like a full chest
But
piece.
the background cinnamon bun is bigger than the mask.
I know, this mask, you could have taken
That-
it and put it where that background cinnamon bun was and made
Or
it
just
bigger.
take up the entire frame
Yeah.
of the thigh, right?
like-
And by the way, to do this tattoo bigger might have taken less time.
I know, it might have been cheaper
It might have been cheaper
in the long run.
because when you have to use small mag groupings to get into these little crevices, that actually takes longer than using big mags.
Yeah, you guys were having this discussion at the shop the other day, I
Yeah,
heard.
a lot of the time it's actually cheaper
Everybody
to go
thinks,
bigger.
We make it smaller, it'll cost less. Well, not necessarily, guys.
Oh man, there's nothing worse than having to bust out like really tiny mags to shade into these tiny areas.
I bet.
Whereas you could be covering ground way faster with bigger mags, and you'd not only get maybe the bigger piece for the same or less, you'd have a better flow, and you'd have less background in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I like this mask a lot, but it's just the wrong size.
Agreed.
Just overall, I like the color choices. I don't know why they went so colorful for some parts of this and so empty for other parts.
I don't know.
And they left so much of that thigh there that's going to have to be addressed one day as well.
More shitty background.
More cinnamon buns.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Yeah.